What's up, y'all? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for joining me today on today's video. This video is going to be more of a podcast style as well. I know that I have a few things that I want to talk about, but one of the major things that we're going to be discussing in this episode is change. Just because, one, I feel like change has kind of been a theme through a lot of my videos lately, and it's also just because that's something that I'm going through right now. So with that being said, let's go ahead and jump right into this video. I mean, I have been jumping more into the unknown, especially in 2024, but I have been just jumping more into the unknown, more into things that make me uncomfortable on purpose, because when you're doing that and you're just facing your fears, like, you are training your brain and your nervous system to respond differently to change. Like, I don't want my initial emotion, I don't want my initial reaction to change to be out of fear, out of doubt. I want it to be out of excitement. I want it to feel out of inspiration. And the only way that you really do that is doing more of the things that scare you and training your body to say that this is what we do. This is who I am. And one of the things that really got me inspired to sit down and speak to you guys about this today was that I was listening to an audiobook, and I personally listen to an audiobook a week just to kind of, get those gears turning. But one of the things that he talked about in here that really just clicked with me today and resonated with me today is, for change to happen, you have to believe it's possible. And I mean, like, really believe it, because you can believe it, right? Like, you can keep telling yourself, like, oh, I can change, or like, oh, I can achieve this. But when you get tested with something challenging, or when adversity comes up, are you just going to automatically go into your old habits of thinking? Or are you going to stand in that new belief? Are you going to stand in that power of the now to change? The thing is, like, we can always read about change, and we can always, like, be educating ourselves, but we also have to apply it. Like, I was stuck in an analysis paralysis for a while too. Like, I was there, And the thing is, like, even though change is inevitable, like, change is going to happen, you have to also be the one to make it happen. And half of making that happen is believing it can happen. It can happen for you. It can happen for anybody. So I want to ask you, like, do you believe in yourself? Do you believe in yourself? Like, and I know that you probably just answered that in your head. So if the answer to that is no, then why? Why not? And if the answer is yes, why? And I feel like it's very important for us to sit down and question ourselves sometimes and reflect, because sometimes we're going to be shocked with the answer. And that's kind of why I love journaling as well, because it's like, if you're not asking yourself these questions, who is? Like, the power of belief. Like, when we were kids and they would tell us stories about the Easter Bunny, Santa Claus, and it just felt so real. Like, I feel like that's kind of what we have to start doing with our manifestations and with our dreams, because how real it felt when Christmas time was in the air. Like, you genuinely believed that old Saint Nick was walking his behind down that chimney and putting Christmas presents under your Christmas tree. Like, you can't tell me you didn't. Like, and for me, like, there was so much magic around the holidays because of that. And it's just from belief. And that's honestly why I've been speaking about inner child recently, just because it's like, it's funny how it's all connected to, like, the power of belief and, like, the inner child, and just really tapping into that energy, because it does make it feel so real. And the thing is, like, just because we aged doesn't mean that we also have to change in certain ways. And I know that the world that we have grown up in makes us believe that. And, you feel like you just have all these responsibilities and you have all of these things. And I'm not saying you don't. But what if I was telling you that that was there on purpose to bring you out of that way of thinking, to that way of being and believing? Like, what if that was all on purpose? And if it was all on purpose, that just shows you how powerful believing truly is. You know, and that's just like, that's the magic of it. And I just want more and more of you guys to see that there is so much power in believing in your goals, believing in you, believing in what's to come. The best is yet to come. Like anytime that I miss being a kid, I usually try to go outside, or I try to put on a kid's show, like a Disney movie, especially the old animated movies. I want you to remind yourself that being a kid is like an energy, like a river. Like you can always go to that river and drink from it. Like it's always in you. You know what I'm saying? Like that inner child never went away, and you need to be very intentional about reconnecting with that inner child in you, especially as an adult. You know, because you are now responsible and conscious enough to take care of him or her. And I think that's beautiful if you allow it to be, if you believe it to be so. You know, like there was so much wonder and magic when we were young, and we are always able to access it just by believing we can. But I think that's it for this video. I have a couple in mind that I want to film, but I just wanted to remind you of the power of believing in yourself and believing in the magic and wonder of this world that we live in. So with that being said, thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate your time and your energy that you spent watching this video. I love you. I hope that you're pouring love into yourself. I hope that you're being intentional with yourself. Please go ahead and like, share, comment, subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next one.